Hello. This message is to all of you agents of illusory authority. This is to all of you who are sitting at the top of your illegitimate structures of power, claiming to have the right to rule over us and to make your own laws. But the winds of change are blowing.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Winds of change while recording outside where it's windy in fucking portrait mode. Oh, joy. You know this is going to be crazy already, don't you? Roll the intro. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. We seem to have a problem, though. That's fucking better.
We know there's a cure. There's always a cure, because that is how Mother Nature works. That is the level of organic intelligence that is present here in this creation. Always.
Oh dear, it seems we've scraped the barrel of woo peddlers. Now, this video was actually sent to me by a person called J.A. Hill in my comments, who's a firm fan favourite of Kate Shiminari. And this was the, yeah, look at this one, she's just as good. She's fucking, you're right. She is just as fucking good. If by good you mean mental. Dick. But, yes, everything has a cure apparently. That'll be a goddamn no then. There's no actual cure for polio, though you can vaccinate to stop getting it. Alzheimer's, diabetes, asthma. They're just ones that come off the top of my goddamn head that you can not have a cure for, but you can have preventative medication and medication that will then limit the symptoms that you are then suffering with and manage these things. But no, not everything has a cure, you daft mare.
We know that we can use simple cell salts and minerals and vitamins to purify even a deliberately poisoned organism.
Really? So if we purposely give you sepsis, what vitamins and minerals are you going to take? Remember, you can only take the vitamins and minerals, so no steroids, no antibiotics. We'll see how well you do with that, shall we?
So, we'll always find a way to treat ourselves with natural remedies. And what I'd like to ask is, do you really think that people are going to go along with this fraud?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you have any information to actually suggest it is a fraud? You know, anything proper, scientific, looked into, anything weighed, measured, and anything like that at all? Because I very much doubt it. Whereas we could show you something as simple as mortality rates through the ages before modern medicine, when people had all these vitamins and minerals and shit they could take, an all natural response to everything. And people ended up having around 6 children, if not more, but the population rate stayed relatively low due to how many fucking people died.
Most healthcare workers are real human beings who care. And there's no way that you could bribe or threaten them to remain silent in the face of institutionalized medical malpractice and negligence.
That's right, you can't bribe everyone, which is a good thing. I wouldn't actually disagree with that. But do you notice that the only people who are coming out going, yes, this recent giant plague virus thing that's sweeping the world, yeah, it's not real. Yet the only people saying that are nut jobs like you or other people who don't actually work as proper medical staff. So people who work in beautician clinics, osteopaths who only work with backs, or just nut jobs like you trying to sell vitamins, minerals, and I'm going to guess you're going to try and sell me a crystal at some point.
We know that the PCR method of testing is unscientific.
No, it's not, but please continue, because this hole's going to get really big for you.
And leading up to 80% false positives. Because of the COVID-19 genetic material is actually present in many different organisms, including fruit, as was wonderfully demonstrated by the president of Tanzania, who decided to test the test kits that the World Health Organization sent him.
Now let's address the PCR tests first. And under laboratory conditions, 5 of these test kits have been tested. Testing test kits. But these have achieved a 100% rating on sensitivity on positive samples and at least a 96% specificity on negative samples. So yeah, that's really good. They know these results are going to be ideal and the test kits aren't to blame. What can be to blame for negative results is people not either testing at the right time, so either too soon or too late, so there's not enough virus left in their system, or something as simple as not putting the thing up your nose to get the virus DNA far enough. So you're not basically testing properly. The test kits themselves are not to blame, it's people not using the test kits correctly. Simple as. Now, as for this claim that Tanzania and his president, and they're like, yeah, look, this fruit's got stuff in. The only person to say that is him. Other tests have been done and there's nothing. It's just him saying that. He is a person who is desperate to get his country back open and there's elections in autumn. So, yeah, he's not doing well. He's also sacked health ministers and people like that. So, yeah, we're not going to take anything like that. All the tonics that he's saying that people should get from Madagascar with no scientific backing, a bit like fucking Trump and things he's doing. They probably would get along.
We know that the CDC published an official document on March the 4th, 2020, stating that a COVID-19 death should be marked even when the patient was only assumed to have had it, or even when COVID-19 was merely a contributing factor.
You say this like it's some big, I got them, look, yeah, they're saying mark all these as COVID. Do you want to know the full cause of death classification and definition of deaths off the CDC for this are in their technical notes for this entire thing? So when coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 are reported as a cause that contributed to the death on a death certificate, these can include laboratory confirmed cases as well as cases without laboratory confirmation. If the certifier suspects COVID-19 or determines that it was likely, e.g., the circumstances were compelling with a reasonable degree of certainty that they can report COVID-19 as probable or presumed on the death certificate. COVID-19 is listed as the underlying cause of the death certificate in 94% of deaths. So it's not, yes, we'll just mark them as all COVID, but they can put COVID as an underlying cause of death, and they can just report that this person had COVID and has now died, but it's an underlying cause of death, not, yeah, it was just COVID. No, there are like specifics on the death certificate of underlying causes, contributing causes, and all that shit. But we wouldn't expect any sort of knowledge of that from you, would we?
We know also that the initial official disease projection model for COVID-19, made by Professor Neil Ferguson at the London Imperial College, is totally fraudulent, and that he grossly overestimated the number of deaths leading from COVID-19. Just like he has done in the past. This guy has a track record of making these false prophecies about infectious diseases, like he did with swine flu, avian flu, and the mad cow disease. And yet, you still gave that man that platform, knowing that he has this track record.
Now, the initial COVID model that everyone bangs on about is the one where it said, if you do nothing, shit is going to hit the fan. The basic main thing in that is, if you do nothing. Now, if you haven't noticed, we've got social distancing, lockdown, my bar's closed and all that jazz. The same sort of went for mad cow disease. If you do nothing, shit will hit the fan. So we did something. Numbers then didn't hit the worst case scenario model. Same went for swine flu. If you do nothing, but all of that shit. I don't know why I need to keep going on. They're models on worst case, but they're not the only models made. If the models that Ferguson predicted were so off kilter, he wouldn't be asked to provide any more models, would he? That would just be silly, because people can look at his track record and go, oh, You said that millions of people would die. No, I said up to millions of people would die if you just sat on your fat ass doing nothing, moaning about what everyone's fucking doing, you moron.
This is clearly deliberate. And this initial projection was used as a justification to lock down the entirety of United States and United Kingdom. And even though this model has already been changed because it was totally fraudulent, the same lockdown measures remain intact.
Yeah, and with these lockdown measures, we've still managed to have 36,000 deaths in the UK, 345,000 worldwide. So take that into consideration, then think, ooh, if we didn't do the lockdown, would we be close to those initial numbers that were predicted in Ferguson's model? Yeah, we probably fucking would, you daft... Ooh.
We also know that there are several possible causes for these symptoms that people are experiencing all around the world. For example, Dr. Zach Bush talks about cyanide poisoning as a result of severe air pollution.
Cyanide poisoning, really? That would make sense in areas of high industrial level work and shit like that, not in little farming areas where the disease has still arrived. Take me, for example. There's been cases up the road from me. I live in Herefordshire, which is 90% fucking green and farmy.
Dr. Judy Mikovits talks about flu shots that are contaminated with coronaviruses.
Well, what about people who haven't had flu shots that have then caught coronavirus? How do you work that one out in your little woo world?
Dr. Rashid Buttar has been revealing what is going on with the gain of function research, where a natural substance is deliberately manipulated in laboratories to turn them into a far more virulent and resistant form. We know that that's happening.
And yet there's no evidence to suggest that the COVID virus has been altered in a laboratory to make it more resilient or anything like that.
Stephanie Sanath, a senior research scientist at MIT, has attributed the growing pulmonary toxicity to the presence of glyphosate in our environment and in our food supply. You know, that stuff that Monsanto makes?
Now, while Stephanie Sanath does work for MIT, her specialities are computer science and artificial intelligence. A great one to take for anything for virology or anything like that. Joy. She also thinks that glyphosate, when sprayed on genetically modified corn, which is then used to make ethanol, are then absorbed by the corn, and when burnt in biofuels are then being put into the atmosphere and absorbed by people through their breathing. Even though that it burns higher in a car than the glycosol can survive and is destroyed, so we'll ignore that bit. In areas then that don't use as much glyphosol or biofuels, or genetically modified corn for that matter, she has other reasons. The best one's for Italy. Because Italy, though it doesn't use genetically modified corn, they do use a lot of olive oil. And glyphosate is sprayed on the olive plants. Then, when the olive oil is recycled and turned into biofuel, this then causes that once again. And in Russia, where there is no biofuel, they should make something else up. So, yeah, this lady is nuts once again. On Google, she's actually marked as people also search for Andrew Wakefield. And we all know he was a fucking nutball.
And Dr. Thomas Cowen talks about the millimeter wave radiation that is actually causing iron to separate from hemoglobin, making it very difficult for our bodies to utilize oxygen in our blood.
Dr. Thomas Cowen, really? This is the guy that thinks the heart isn't a pump and it's some other cosmic-y goodness that's making everything go around our body. And obviously now is a 5G fucking nut job.
And you are censoring all of this information, all of these experts, all of this research. And yet, we are finding alternative platforms. We are connecting with independent investigative journalists, doctors, researchers, scientists, and we are finding out our own answers.
Now, do you know the funny thing about all those people you mentioned? They all have different ideas and none of them over fucking lap, do they? They're all thinking, no, it's this, no, it's that, no, it's this, no, it's that. None of them have got any repeatable scientific evidence for these things, and they all just seem to be completely and utterly batshit crazy. So, yeah, you've got your alternative platforms, that's fine. The internet's there, you can spout your crazy, wootarding, craziness. But unless you're going to have some evidence for this crazy, wootard craziness, then it's just crazy, wootard craziness, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what you call alternative medicine that works? Fucking medicine. So, yeah. You definitely go in the crazy pile and you can be barred for goddamn life. You are nut-jobbly nuts. You really are. The people you have mentioned in this video are as nuts as you are, and that's a bit scary. But I think we're going to leave it there for tonight because, yeah, you be crazy bitch. But we'll catch you all on the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be. I've got some videos lined up, but oh God, they just get worse at the moment. All the conspiracitards seem to have crawled out from under a fucking rock. So, great. But don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe down below. I am the Sarcastic Barman. Buy one of my t-shirts. It's nice t-shirt weather at the moment, so why the hell not? And we'll see you all on the next one. Good night.